All right, thanks everyone. So we're going to start off with the speakers. So the first speaker that we've got tonight is Charley. Do I pronounce it Valher? Valher, there we go, like the man with the Valher. So Charley is the owner and founder of digital marketing agency CJV Enterprises. For the past 3 years, Charley has been working with many small business owners to develop strong and successful marketing systems. Tonight, he's going to be sharing one of his best marketing strategies for 2014. So everybody, welcome Charley.
Thanks guys. First up, I want to say a massive thank you to Stu and Matt. I think it's absolutely awesome what they're doing and really overall value for everyone. So my name is Charley and I run a digital marketing agency CJV Enterprises, which is based in Melbourne with the Docklands. And one of the fantastic things about having a marketing agency is I've been given the opportunity to work with a lot of different types of small businesses ranging from all different fields, which has given me a really great perspective of what types of online marketing can help one type of business compared to another. Now I've only got 20 minutes tonight, so rather than just talk about me, I'm going to dive straight into the content and really pack as much value in as we can. Is that all right with you guys?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, that was...
Yes. Definitely.
There we go. So the topic I'm going to be covering tonight is remarketing, which in my opinion is the most undervalued form of online marketing that's online at the moment. And all of you, if any of you are online, you should be doing it, or at least know about it. So what is remarketing? Remarketing is the ability to display targeted advertising at a specific person after they have visited your site. So the laser's not actually working on this, but I will walk through here. So a prospect comes to your website, they're then tagged with a cookie. And they pick up this cookie automatically. They don't need to do anything to pick this cookie up, and it flows through. The visitor then leaves your site, which is come through here, and that cookie then tells the advertising networks what advertising to show towards them. The prospects then displayed with advertising around the web targeted to be at that website. So an example that I've got for you here and I did the other day is I went to the Optus website. After leaving the Optus website, I then went to Yahoo. And no surprise of what popped up. We can see on the top of the page here, we've got a massive Optus banner. And we've also got another little one, so these guys are really going hard with the remarketing on the side there. So they've established that because I've previously been to their site, that I'm much more likely to be interested in their service than someone who had.
I've seen that. I was wondering what was happening.
Absolutely, I've noticed that too.
I'm thinking that's way too,
Oh,
it
it's so
was more than coincidence.
It is so cool and creepy. It's
Snoopy.
honestly, it's amazing we can do it, but at the same time, I'm like, this is unreal, isn't it? So another example I've got for you here is I was looking for shoes on Antion and Stanley. I then returned, this is after I visited their website, I've returned to my Facebook newsfeed only to suddenly see the exact pair of shoes I was looking at appear in the feed.
That's great.
It's crazy, yeah? So these guys know not only that I've been to the site, but exactly the shoes I was looking at.
Yes.
And then have put that in front of me on Facebook. So we're at a time when marketing is just going to a whole new level.
Creepy.
Now, the one thing I definitely want to get across to you guys is this isn't a small scale thing that's happening. All the major networks are offering remarketing as a service. So we saw an example of Facebook and Yahoo then, but Google and Twitter are also offering this service as well. So Google owns sites like eBay and Gumtree as well. So they've now got the power to pretty much follow you anywhere online. Between these four organisations here, they will be able to get in front of you, I'll guarantee it. So right now, if your website's converting at industry average, so the overall average is 2%. That means if 100 people currently visit your website or landing page, 98 of them leave without taking any form of action at all. Which is a little upsetting. I mean, a lot of us go to a lot of effort to bring visitors into our site. To have only 2 out of 100 convert is not ideal. And we can see that there's so much appeal with remarketing because we've now got 98 people that we can re-engage with and reconnect with. One of the big factors online and why I mentioned the 98 out of 100 rule is competition online has increased dramatically. We can see that bigger companies are now investing a lot more into online because the results have been proven. It's not like the good old days where you just put up a website and it instantly got traction. you really need to logically think out how you're going to attack the market, where your traffic's coming from, and how you're going to source and make this happen. So a couple of examples I've got here, which the cost and effort to acquire a new customer has gone up, is Google AdWords is a prime example here. 5 years ago, you used to be able to buy advertising on AdWords for under 10 cents. It's ridiculous that in some industries, and I'll use mortgage broking and insurance, that you can be expected to pay $30 for one click, making it very unaffordable to small businesses. SEO, which is a dirty word, not sure you can say that word, also is feeling the effect because larger companies are now filtering in these markets. If you want to be on page one in a relevant keyword, it's incredibly expensive to be there. That's very, very important. Now, a lot of you already probably have to deal with this, but Facebook itself, as it has become a more competitive place for businesses, to cope with this, introduced something called the edge rank, where if you have a business page and you post something, only 10% of the people, on average, will actually see this post. So we're all feeling the bite of increased competition online. Now, it's much easier to convert someone who has previously visited your site. No secret there, if you've already been to a website or you've already spoken to someone in person, you're much more likely to convert them as you have some form of previous relationship. Now, I've got a image that was released by Google. It's about a year old, but still very, very relevant. And what this graph actually shows here is a cost per conversion leading to good there, and a conversion rate leading good there. So the closer you are to the bottom left corner, the better. We can see that remarketing is the clear winner by far, followed by a close second by contextual keywords, which is AdWords. So if you typed a search term into the Google as a close second, and display network a close third. The key thing to keep in mind here is the broader your advertisements, or the broader your spread on how you're communicating with your audience, the lower the conversion rate goes. So if you're just advertising currently or spreading a wide message at the moment, it's very unlikely that someone's going to connect to it and convert on your site. So a case study. This was recorded by Vistaprint in New Zealand. So just by introducing this one strategy of remarketing, they could see that their remarketing ads performed 1.5 times better than their ads to cold traffic. So just by diverting some of their budget from marketing to cold traffic or cold prospects into remarketing, they got a 50% better result, which is just crazy to think that you can get that much of an increased conversion just because they visited your site previously. I want to share a little kind of personal story with you. It's a little bit off topic, but it'll come into them. About 3 years ago, I wandered down to the car yards and decided that I needed to buy a new car. So I went into Holden and I drove a Commodore. I went into Ford and I drove a Ford Falcon. And I went into Nissan and I drove a Navara. Now, my intention was not actually to buy any car that day. My intention was to come home and jump online and start looking and comparing vehicles and then play that game in your head where you try and justify the one you can't afford. But then, yeah, we've all been there. What do you mean? 60 grand? Nothing. Repayments, pinch of speed, get a balloon, we'll work out, but you should never do that. The really interesting thing that happened out of that event is over the next week, every time I got in my car, I swear to God, there was Nissan Navaras everywhere.
Yep.
All I could see was Nissan Navaras.
Yep.
So by show of hands, who's had this happen to them? Or it might not be a car, it might be an item, and if you haven't got your hand up, you're lying. So over that next week, and I started seeing there was this one day, and I remember it so clearly, where I was on the freeway, I was on the Monash, I was driving in and there was a Nissan Navara next to me. And the whole trip in, I was pretending I was driving that car. I was thinking I was going to go away for weekends, I was going to go four-wheel driving, all these other loose ends. And it turns out, just with that trip alone, that next day I bought the car. So just from, not so much the salesman on the day, but that increased desire and seeing the brand elsewhere actually created the purchase. Now, remarketing is creating that experience online. Remarketing is making people see your product or service online and following them around with it. So it's pretty crazy stuff, and it's not to be taken lightly.
It's actually a psychologically
Induced.
thing. It's I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, it's actually that whatever, psychosis or whatever. That
Let's
you
go with
fancy
that.
and then makes
Absolutely.
It makes the brand top of mind, and in advertising we talk about reach and frequency, like hitting people a number of times in a number of different ways. When you do remarketing, you're seeing the same brand wherever you go on the internet. The same brand keeps coming up. So yeah, it's really, it does. Yeah.
I don't like to use that word because some people take it the wrong way. Absolutely. Sometimes I just wear a really dark hoodie and put a Valher on and sit there. So just by a quick show of hands, how many of you currently sell products online, or generate leads online, or are building your brand online? So pretty much everyone in the room? Fantastic. We'll definitely take this stuff seriously. All right. Somehow I think you saw my next slide. So one of the really powerful things, and remarketing isn't something that a lot of people are doing currently, it's really only relatively become mainstream this year, and when it's become known about and really noticed that we're being followed around. There's a great opportunity at the moment that if you're one of the first people in your market to do this, you can dramatically stand out as a stronger and bigger brand. Now, I don't know about you guys personally, but whenever I'm looking for a product online, I'll often have 4 or 5 windows open, maybe more, and I'll be comparing these products. And then you know what happens? I have to go somewhere, so I just shut it all down. I don't necessarily make the purchase then and there. By using remarketing, the next time I turn my computer on, that brand that flashes up is straight where I'm going back. So now I wanted to dive a little bit deeper. And if, please, at any point, if you need me to go over something, slow it down so you can. I'm all for it, because chances are someone else will have the same question. So now I want to dive into the types of remarketing. So we can not only just target people that go to our site, so it's not they come to our site and everyone sees the same thing. We can target by demographic. Now how we can use that is if I'm a male and I visit a specific site, that I will then be targeted by male offers and the females won't see that offer. So you can target by gender. So if you're currently in a business where you need to work with only males or only females, you have the ability to retarget based on sex or age. The second type of remarketing is location-based marketing. Now, if you're in an industry where you can only service a specific area, like you're an accountant who's got a service radius, you don't want to be wasting advertising to people who actually can't take you up on the offer. So retargeting to your area can be incredibly powerful. Third type of remarketing is device-based marketing. If you're in an industry where you would like to receive phone calls, if you would like people to respond by making a telephone call, then chances are remarketing by a mobile device and making sure that your ads are retargeted by people who visit on a mobile is incredibly powerful. Alternatively, a desktop can do the same thing. If you've got an online offer where someone needs to be on a computer to take you up on that offer, then you can target by desktop.
Charlie, can you also target people? So you can target them on their sex and where they live. Can you target them on things like their age and, let's say, their likes and dislikes kind of thing? How much information?
You're going to stop ripping on my slides, seriously. No more from you. Yes, absolutely, you can target by age.
Yeah.
So, which they just have a radius. You could pick 25 to 35, 35 to 45. You can name your numbers. Sex as well, location and device. But this by far has to be the most powerful form of remarketing. So this is called action-based remarketing, where based by what a user has done on your website, you can target them with a very specific and relevant offer. Now I'm going to give you 3 examples here so this one really sinks in. And this was one of the examples I used in the slide. If I had a shoe store and someone came to my site and they put a red pair of shoes in the shopping cart. So they put it in the cart, but they left and did not purchase. You would have the ability to send that pair of shoes around the internet and follow them. You could make those shoes appear absolutely everywhere.
So you are stalking.
That is as close to stalking as it gets.
I reckon.
And if you're really clever, you show them red shoes for a bit, and if they don't buy, then you show them, how about blue shoes?
Can they do something about it? Can they say, okay, stop following me, click somewhere, delete the cookies?
So if you clear the cookies on a computer, this can happen. But in all honesty, from what I found, most people never do that. But there's seriously a program out there to block the ads on YouTube channels, so you don't have to watch that 5-second clip, but barely anyone installs it.
And I think it's so, sorry, I'm speaking up again. I think it's
Just be
so,
careful if you steal the next slide, I swear.
I think it's so subliminal as well in that I don't know how much it would annoy you. I had an experience the other day, so I'm a yoga teacher and I was looking at a website in the city of a yoga studio, and this is when I noticed this exact type of marketing. I knew it existed, but it was kind of the first time I'd really experienced it quite so intensely. And every other site I went on, the yoga studio kept kind of cropping up. And it's very, very clever. But it was, for me, it was more interesting rather than annoying. And I guess from a marketing perspective, I was kind of going, this is really clever because it's making it top of mind. And if I thought I want to find a studio or a class somewhere, that's going to be top of my mind straight away.
Absolutely. We're looking at this from a whole different game. Advertising in this way is not annoying. Well, it is for some people, we won't generalise everyone. But the opportunity to show people products they're actually interested in and may actually want is going to perform way better and serve them better than just a cold ad or something that they don't want to see. So the second example of action-based remarketing, and we're going to use a coach, a consultant or a personal trainer. If you were a personal trainer and you had a boot camp that was about to start in, let's say, 10 days, someone had been to your site, we can see they've been on the boot camp page, but they didn't sign up. They didn't join the boot camp. We can then follow them around the internet with a countdown time. We could go the next day. Boot camp starts in 9 days. Get ready. Boot camp starts in 8 days. Sign up now. And when we even get to the 3 days or 4 days, we could even offer them a special offer. We could say, 4 days to go, sign up now, 50% off. So the possibilities around that area are incredibly awesome as well. Now the last one here, the example here is a content creator. So if you're an author or a blogger, or anyone who basically is creating any form of content that they want to be digested that isn't selling, and you're looking to build that personal brand, you can target people based on the content they look at your site. So if someone has been to a specific blog article on your site and they've read about, let's say, I'll use accounting because it's a good one in the topic at the moment. You've written an article about tax and someone's been there, you could then follow them around the internet with more relevant content on how to prepare their tax, how to get ready for tax time. You even throw in a little timer saying, June 30 is coming. So everyone's, I imagine most of you have already seen something pretty similar to this, but everyone understand the concepts of different types of remarketing we can do? Awesome. So one of the most common questions I get when we start talking about remarketing is, all right, it's definitely, this is it, I want to do remarketing, but where do I send them after they've clicked on my ad? And this is really important. If you're going to remarket with someone, they've already taken a lot of action with you. They've visited your site once, and then again they've clicked on the ads. Chances are they're very ready to take action with you. And to make sure that you take full advantage of that, you need to send them to a page where they have the ability to take action then and there. So the example of the shoes before, the page I would be sending them to is that item, ready to purchase. If I was a coach or consultant, I would be sending them to a landing page where I'm collecting their name, email address, and making sure that I'm getting that lead data. Because at that point in time, they are ready to act. This is where you're going to be able to get the most interaction for them and they're at their hottest moment.
Does that bypass the free giveaway? Like all the examples you were saying, they're going from, oh, have a look at this. They give me information, for example, of shoes.
Yep.
Shoes you can't, there's no free giveaway, I suppose, but yeah, almost kind of short-circuiting the lead, the funnel, aren't you?
Yep, can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
So you often get people to register their name and address if you give them a free report or something free.
So in this case here, someone's already visited your site.
Yeah.
Because of the engagement level, this person's really ready to take action. In the example of shoes, and I'll use this as a great example, and thank you for asking this question. If I was selling shoes and I sent the user to a page that was a lead capture that wasn't relevant to the user, what do you think would happen?
Nothing.
They're going to be pissed.
Yeah.
They're going to be annoyed and they're not going to purchase. They might still if they really want the shoes, but you've just lost the full advantage of the system you've created. The idea between advertising is to make things easier for someone. if they're in that point and they want their shoes, you want to make it as easy as possible so they can click through and get those shoes immediately. If they're a coach, you want to make sure that they are going to the landing page where you're collecting that name and email or whatever system you have. Now, alternatively, you can send them to a landing page that is a giveaway. And definitely, if that's a part of your process and where you would like people to enter your funnel, that definitely can be done. You do have full control over the whole system.
But you've got way more targeting ability, because not only are they interested in doing something, but they've told you specifically what they want.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you could say, you'd have a range of workshops and say,
In the case of an e-commerce store, the chances are if they're going to check out, that they're going to be giving you their details and postage address anyway to actually get their item. So collecting that details on the back end is where you obviously do those types of things and send email series and remarket to them again. Because more than likely, well, I don't have one pair of shoes, so chances are I may want another one down the track. Is there any more questions while we're at this point? All good. Now, I've arranged with Stu beforehand for this, and as a way of rewarding the people that have come out here tonight, and for all the members here, I've got a special free offer for you. So you guys can really kind of take your online marketing to the next level. What I'd love to offer you is a free email follow-up series that you can attach to your website or landing pages. Now, there is one condition with that you will have to be on the phone with me for about 30 minutes. And there's no pitch really involved with that. It's just to make sure that you can take full advantage of the email series that I'm going to be giving you. And the last thing I want to do is give you something that you think is going to work. You're going to spend time and money and invest in putting into place, only to realise that, we should have tweaked that a little bit. Really, really important. We spent a good year, my team spent a good year working on this, and we're very happy with the results it's producing. I think you all could benefit from it greatly. So those of you that are interested in receiving the free email follow-up series, please give me a business card, and I will follow up with you and call you during the week.
what is it? Is it templates?
Yep, so it's a series that we've developed. It's an email series that we can attach to an autoresponder, and the idea is that for people that are visiting your site and you are collecting that lead capture with, that you can then convert them into customers. So it does need to be tailored a little bit depending on the business, and we want to help you with that process.
Chuck, I've got a question.
Sure.
Are you able to give us a bit of a rundown on what remarketing costs?
Yeah, absolutely. So remarketing is a little like AdWords, where it depends on your industry, or it depends on the competition around where you're working. So if you're in a really competitive industry like insurance or mortgage broking, your costs are going to be a little bit higher than everyone else. On average, the cost of doing remarketing versus an AdWords campaign are about 45% cheaper to 65% cheaper, depending on the niche. The great thing about remarketing is that it's controllable with a budget. So just because you do it once doesn't mean you're outlining for a large campaign. You can do small scale ones, and as it performs for you, you can scale it right up.
So how do you scale it? Do you say, I want you to follow 3 people, or
No, so
I want
it's,
you to go on for a week, 10 times a day? How does it?
Okay, so with the options, which basically it's set by budget. So you pay per person that clicks on your ad. Pardon me. That's how the payment system works with it. So every time someone clicks, you're charged a nominal fee depending on when they clicked. Depending on your budget, so once your budget might be $10 a day, we'll call it random, and your clicks might cost you $1, let's say. So once 10 people have clicked that for the day, they're done. Then the next day goes over and you get your next 10.
And then what happens that there's no more ads coming up once people have clicked 10 ads? Like,
Yeah, so you can increase your budget if you would like more people to click on the ad.
yeah, but what happens when the budget is reached is that there's no more ads popping up.
No. So you have control of that. Unfortunately, they won't give you free advertising. They will pay you to show it. But the great thing about that is if you test it on a small scale and you see that it is working, increasing it out is of a massive advantage.
And for that to work, you would need to already be getting traffic to your website, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. So this is one of the key elements here. For the remarketing system to be really effective, they have to have visited your site. They have to have had some sort of previous communication with either your website, landing page, or custom form.
So if you're advertising on Facebook and they click on something on the post and they open the post, would that count
Absolutely.
as well?
So
So you could advertise on Facebook
Facebook to generate leads and then do it that way?
So I'll give you that's exactly a strategy that we use.
Yeah.
So there's a little button on Facebook, which I've saw many of you seen, called Boost Post. And most of us sit there and go, it's useless. Why would I want to boost this post? If you're coming up with fantastic content and you boost a post that goes to a remarketing pixel, that person is now in your system and you can remarket ads to them. That's a fantastic way you can use your content to get into this type of series.
Yeah, because at present you don't know where they go.
So if you're not necessarily getting the web traffic, but you have a presence on the Facebook page, you can use that to build the
Yes,
web
so you
traffic.
can leverage off Facebook. You do need to send them to a page type that can pick up the cookie,
Yeah.
but absolutely you can leverage yourself your social media content.
That's great.
All right, guys, that's me done. Thank you.
That was absolutely fantastic.